trade window is open and it has been active. Take a look at some of the top available targets. Those are the ones that are not highlighted on your board. Some of the highlighted names are already going to be on the move, going to new teams. Some able to hold on to their spots before, like Alec Pierce. The Colts hold on to him. A reminder, deals cannot be finalized till the start of the new league year at 4 Eastern on Wednesday. We'll be with you there. But Adam Schefter, let's start with some of the latest news. Mike Evans, the Tampa Bay veteran, finds a new home in San Francisco.
Yeah, Laura, he signed he reached agreement with the San Francisco 49ers, 3-year, $60.4 million deal. Gets that deal done today, leaves Tampa. An emotional departure for Mike Evans leaving Tampa today. A big loss for the Buccaneers, but a big addition for the San Francisco 49ers. Malik Willis is the next player that got a deal done today with the Miami Dolphins. Essentially, they move on from Tua Tagovailoa. Now they get a deal done with Malik Willis, 3 years, $67.5 million, $45 million guaranteed to get that deal done. Miami has its starting quarterback moving forward as he reunites with Jeff Hafley. The Indianapolis Colts keep the wide receiver that they wanted to keep, Alec Pierce, on a 4-year, $116 million deal. That was a priority for them. They get that deal done. He stays in Indianapolis. They transition tag Daniel Jones. Now they get to keep Alec Pierce on that long-term, big money deal for a wide receiver. But because they kept Pierce, they had to trade Michael Pittman to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They flopped draft choices with the Steelers. Essentially, Pittsburgh Steelers then gave Michael Pittman a 3-year, $59 million deal. So Pittman gets a trade and a new deal and a new home as he now plays with DK Metcalf in Pittsburgh with the Steelers. And one of the biggest deals of the day, Tyler Linderbaum sets a record for interior offensive linemen. $27 million a year, 3 years, $81 million. The Baltimore Ravens get Max Crosby from the Raiders. Now the Raiders get Tyler Linderbaum, the center from the Baltimore Ravens. This was a player that Clint Kubiak wanted to anchor that line, and they got that done. Meanwhile, the Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker, wound up going to the Kansas City Chiefs on a 3-year, $43 million deal that included over $28 million in guaranteed money. The Chiefs get the running back that they've been looking for. It works out very well for them. Seattle has a need at running back, and we'll see what they wind up doing. And Travis Kelce, the Chiefs tight end, is working out to go back to Kansas City. They're trying to work out a deal. Everybody's expected that he would be back. He is going to be back. They're trying to get that deal all taken care of.
It looks like Adam's got another deal cooking there, so he'll update us with that as soon as he gets it. Adam, unbelievable job by you.
Phone hot
this
as hell.
Such a fun day, by the way, for all of us, finding out how the league is going to look going forward. It changes in the blink of an eye, and we're with you for another hour here. Our coverage continues right here on ESPN, all the latest as Adam continues to break news. Reactions here from Ryan Clark, Lewis Riddick, Jeremy Fowler. Dan Orlovsky is joining us there. He's live in Indy. What's up, Dano? We'll get to you in just a moment.
Dan, you like a nerd.
What? You didn't even let him say anything.
Straight nerd, Dan.
Dan, I think you look great.
That city let you out of the closet in Indy.
He's in a different closet now. Okay, Mike Evans, let's focus on that. Soon to be new teammate. He's in a different closet now. Okay, Mike Evans, let's focus on that. Soon to be new team of the Bay. I know, poor Dan. We got him muted. He can't even respond to us ripping on him. All right, Mike Evans opened his career with an NFL record, 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He stacks up very well on the NFL's active list, right? The only active receiver with more touchdown catches than Evans is Davante Adams, and the only one with more yards is DeAndre Hopkins. Dan, when you think about what this is going to look like and now what Kyle Shanahan has at his disposal, what comes to mind?
The red zone. Kyle Shanahan is one of the best play designers and game planners in the NFL, but I think he's the best, along with Andy Reid, down in the red zone, down in the goal line area. And if you think, and RC and Lewis can speak to it better than I don't think there's a ton of corners in the NFL that you can just say, hey, yes, you can go cover Mike Evans down inside that red zone area one-on-one by yourself. So he's still going to be a focused part of their pass game in the middle of the field and working the middle of the field. But you get down in that goal line spot, good luck. And now if you think about it, Kyle Shanahan's going to have this piece that he can move around to attract either one-on-one matchups or attention. And then George Kittle, once he gets back, is going to have more space. Christian McCaffrey going to have more space. McCaffrey was tasked with doing so much last year, all encompassing for this offense. This is a massive addition for San Francisco.
What I think about is you now have a wide receiver that doesn't need a lot of space to catch the football, working alongside an offensive coordinator and head coach that just understands how to create space. And so some of the explosion or the quickness or the ability to create separation that Mike Evans might have lost, it's built in to this offense. And you think about Ricky Pearsall, some of his versatility, ability to go inside and outside, and him getting another year under his belt, what Christian McCaffrey means for this entire offense, and also the ability of Brock Purdy to create second play opportunities. Think about Mike Evans in the scramble drill, understanding how to work with the quarterback, but also being in those one-on-ones to win 50-50 balls. And as you said as well, Dan, when you think about the red zone, the piece that Christian McCaffrey and the way that he's already utilized, the way that that works for them, but now having Mike Evans when everything is looking into the backfield to get one-on-ones on the outside.
Yeah, what's interesting for me is the burden that he's going to carry as far as the passing game is concerned here. And I know Jeremy spoke earlier about the fact that Mike Evans may be looking at this situation similar to what Davante Adams experienced when he was in L.A. The problem is, though, Davante had Puka.
Yeah.
Mike doesn't have Puka here. So now at soon to be 33 years old, he's wide receiver number 1 out there right now, as it's presently constructed. Juwan Jennings is a free agent. Ricky Pearsall has only gone into his 3rd season and hasn't really even established himself yet. So Mike he may want this kind of role, and that's great. I think every guy who's been an alpha like he has, when you start off your career with 11 straight seasons of over 1K, you're saying, look, I got it. I've done this. This is who I am. You're also going to be 33. This will be interesting to watch what they do in the draft now, because I think they need to give him more help. I don't know if you just want him being the centerpiece at this point.
It's a receiver-rich draft.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talent there. Evans ranks 3rd in red zone targets among active player, trailing only Davante Adams and Travis Kelce. We mentioned Juwan Jennings. You got Pearsall in that room. I mean, Ayuk, he's out of there. What do you think about their plans maybe to add other receivers and just the shape of that room overall?
Yeah, the 49ers are going to get busy. I do expect them to add one other offensive piece. And what's fascinating, to your point, the Bucs had to manage Mike Evans' snaps for the last 3 years. Really. They would take him off the field sometimes on 1st, 2nd down. It's going to be fascinating to see how Kyle Shanahan schemes him up, but he wants to be schemed up. I sense the last couple of weeks, despite the sentiment for Tampa Bay and all his time there as a Hall of Fame career, he wanted a new challenge, chance to win a Super Bowl with a new team. And he's looking at the blueprint and saying, I'm going out.
The problem with age isn't that you can't do it anymore, is that you can't do it as consistently and as constantly. And so it is going to be some of utilizing him in the moments that are important where he can be of most benefit.
I'm not sure anybody can scheme that up better than Kyle Shanahan,
absolutely.
so I'm pumped to see him in this offense. Also, credit to everything that Mike Evans did in that Tampa Bay community. He was a fixture in so many ways, and now he does get a new opportunity. Let's zero in on Miami's new quarterback. This is a small sample size, but no one had a better QBR than Malik Willis over the last 2 years. On his 115 pass plays, Willis hasn't thrown an interception since his rookie year in 2022, but has only 6 career starts and 6 touchdown passes to his name. Dan, I think a lot of people think about him as this run-first quarterback, but there's a lot he can do with his arm. Those numbers, those small sample size, bear that out. What do you make of the fit for Willis in Miami?
Yeah, I like it, and it makes a ton of sense, and it's not overly expensive. It's a really smart decision for Miami right now. One, he's going to go down there. Their offensive coordinator, Bobby Slowick, who comes from Houston a couple years ago with C.J. Stroud, is going to run a very similar system that he played under Matt LaFleur in Green Bay. So you automatically have your starting quarterback that knows a great majority of how this offense operates. He is athletic, there's no question about it, but he has developed to become a very good passer of the football within this offense. Throws it really well down the field in one-on-one opportunities. We obviously saw him on Saturday Night Football in the playoffs late in the season against the Baltimore Ravens, drive the football down in windows. And so I think if you're Miami and you just needed a guy that proved he could play starting quarterback football, but there's still a little bit of unknown of what he exactly is going to be, I think Malik Willis is that guy.
Yeah, now it's on the Miami Dolphins football organization to continue to build out this roster and the system so as to really accentuate this young man's continued development. Because he has given you the glimpses. He has shown you in this kind of system, with this kind of teaching progression, with these kind of weapons, with this kind of running game up in Green Bay, this is how I can excel. This is how I can take the next step. Now you're charged with helping him take the next step. And if you do, and you're able to do that, you've hit a home run. And John Eric Sullivan's going to be looked at as the savior down there. And I'll tell you what, Jeff Hafley's going to be looked at as, hey, man, finally we found our guy, people who understand how to put quarterbacks in position to succeed. Because you're right, that Baltimore game is legit.
Yep.
When you watch that, you go, man, this dude has got it all. Legs, anticipation, calmness, accuracy, arm strength. He's got it all. It's a small sample size, but this is where everyone else has to rally around him.
Do they have enough around him in place already?
Hell no.
Well, that's what I'm curious
Absolutely
about.
not. Right? The Miami Dolphins have a ton of work to do. But what I also like is the contract that they signed him under. We were hearing all of these different numbers being thrown out, that this could be this huge deal. This is a team-friendly deal, and this is a fair deal for Malik Willis. He gets to prove that he can be the franchise quarterback, and now you can add some pieces around him, knowing the cap hit you're going to take by cutting Tua Tagovailoa on June 1st. What I love about this for Malik Willis is being teamed up with Devon Achane. Think about the speed that's going to be in the backfield for the Miami Dolphins, and the way Bobby Slowick can utilize that, move the pocket, give him opportunities for run-pass options. This can be an explosive offense in year one, and we know what we can see from the defense and Jeff Hafley and his ability to get that team or get that side of football playing better.
Yeah, and now the quarterback dominoes can start to fall. Malik Willis was the big one, and the two teams that were in on Willis the most were the Miami Dolphins and Arizona Cardinals with Mike LaFleur, Matt LaFleur's brother. So familiarity, we talked about that. Now the Cardinals have to pivot because they were in on this. Expect them to look into Jimmy Garoppolo to get a veteran there. That was really the buzz around the NFL last 2 weeks is Mike LaFleur's guy is Garoppolo. They'll bring him in. Then Minnesota, and the spotlight goes to the Vikings and what they do.
Yeah,
Boy,
You ain't getting rid of me.
Boy, you let Jimmy G loose in Scottsdale, though.
Yeah, I mean, ooh, goodness. Scottsdale got talent. I'm a little
man is
curious,
smooth.
though, if maybe they just hold on to Jacoby Brissett. I mean, he did a nice job there a few times. We'll keep an eye on it. All right, Willis now in Miami. Tua is out. Adam, what do we know about Tua Tagovailoa's future, the market there? If you're working on something, tell me. I'll come back to you.
Yeah, Laura, he's been talking to the Atlanta Falcons, and they have a left-handed quarterback who's coming back from an injury, and Michael Penix. That would be a logical landing spot, but obviously he could talk to other teams. We'll see how that shakes out, but certainly Atlanta's going to have interest in Tua Tagovailoa now that he has been released and is a free agent in a crowded free agent quarterback pool. And Laura, I should say here, while we're working away here, there's been a whole bunch of moves. The Green Bay Packers have released their Pro Bowl center, Elton Jenkins. Boye Mafe signed a 3-year, $60 million deal with the Cincinnati Bengals. So the Bengals get some pass rushing help. Case Keenum is going back to Chicago Bears in a 2-year, $5.5 million deal to back up Caleb Williams. So the deals are pouring in. Yep. And we got another one. Hold on, Laura. Hold on.
Take your time.
Former Chargers defensive end Odafe Oweh is going to the Commanders on a 4-year, $100 million deal.
That's big.
buzz,
Wait. We got to talk about that for a second. So Odafe Oweh going to the Commanders figuring a way to fortify that defense. What sticks out to you? Go ahead, Jeremy. You go first.
No, Washington leading up to free agency was in on every position. Anytime I would talk to anybody about any market, they were in it all. But they had $90 million of cap space. They got Jaden Daniels going into a 3rd year of a rookie deal, so he's cheap. This was the sense that Washington was finally going after it. The roster just wasn't good enough after 2 years under Dan Quinn and Adam Peters. They're filling a ton of holes.
I love this fit, Dan. I saw your face. I think you like it. I don't know what that face meant, though. It was like a mix of blue, steel, and surprise. So what are you thinking?
Yeah. No, I do. Washington needed to get younger. I mean, I don't care what the position was on defense. They needed younger football players on defense. Oweh fits that. Oweh came off the bench a lot for the Chargers once he got traded. I think he had 7 sacks once he went there off the bench, which is good. That's a lot of money. Obviously, the expectations will rocket ship now that he's going to get paid almost $70 million guaranteed money. But they needed to get younger, and Washington did that.
Yeah, I think the other big piece of it is this is about potential. This is about a guy that was drafted in the first round, underachieved in Baltimore, then showed signs of that athleticism and some of the things we thought about his potential when he was drafted. And if you're the Washington Commanders, you have to create a pass rush. You look at the last 2 years under Dan Quinn, they were trying to manufacture the rush by bringing second-level pressure. If he can be one of those players that gets you into the 12 to 14 sack range, he is worth this sort of deal. We know he has the potential, but can he do that as an every down rusher?
Dan mentioned the age of this Washington team. 13 defensive players at 30-plus last year, the most in the league by far. Let's turn our attention to Boye Mafe landing a 3-year, $60 million deal and this agreement with the Bengals. We talked about the Bengals. Jeremy mentioned it. They're trying to get on every defensive guy they possibly can. How do you like this fit to make them better? He comes from the Seahawks, just winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, look, they're going to need to get it out of him this year as far as his ability to kind of ramp up his pass rush win rate, his pressure percentage. Look, his pass rush snaps, the number of times that he actually rushed the passer ticked down this year. They had so many people in Seattle that they could rotate through there. Look, this contract for him signifies what they're expecting out of him, which is not to be a part of a rotation, but to really be a guy who's look, on third down, they're going to be saying this. Al Golden, the defensive coordinator, is going to be like, go. We need you now. So he's going to, like, what they're expecting of him has really ticked up relative to what he had to do in Seattle, given all the horses that they had.
And this happens to Super Bowl teams sometimes. They start losing guys. Boye Mafe, Kenneth Walker, Kobe Bryant. There's been a few players off of this Seattle team that have gone to other destinations, getting the attention, the payday that they deserve, right? But you wonder what John Schneider may do, if he'll get active in any way, shape, or form quickly.
I think defensively he doesn't have to. I think defensively he understands how much this was a unit, not necessarily only about one player.
And he's been as good as anyone at being able to find players, whether it be in the veteran free agent market or the draft, and develop them. And with Mike McDonald, look, you're kind of like, man, I can give this dude to anybody. He'll find a way to utilize him.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know, Sam Darnold, anybody? Okay, we're just getting started here on NFL Live. Massive day